All right. Hi, yogis. Welcome to your mat. Today's practice is going to be a practice focused on lateral side opening. And it should be really great as well for the QL. So the QL is this big back supporting muscle here. Sometimes when your low back gets tight, it can be a little bit in regards to congestion, tension within that large muscle. So we're going to use this practice to help respiration, opening up the intercostals, the space between the ribs. And we're going to use this practice to help lengthen the body and help to bring less congestion to the quadratus lumborum, the big muscle on the back side of the back. So what I'd like for you to do is take yourself down onto the ground, lying onto your back to begin. You may need a couple of blocks. I have a bolster because one of the poses that we're going to do here toward the end in this yin and yang style flow is going to be a deer pose. So you may want a pillow, something like that that you can use for that. All right, join me on your back. For right now, bring the feet wide. Drop your knees in toward each other. Lift up your shoulder heads and take some length through the spine, and then soften the shoulders back down to the mat. Allow the arms to just open out to the side. And then if you're at home, try to bring yourself to a place where you have few distractions here while you focus in on yourself for this next hour. Focus in on the health and wellness of your body. Give yourself a few moments here to just close the eyes softly, soften the belly. Allow that low back to drop down into the floor. And then just gently find a gentle low back curve. So low back lifts up just a little bit off the floor. Good. Take an inhale through the nose to a count of 4 or 5. And exhale through your nose to a count of 4 or 5. Follow with your next breath. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. And exhale. Good. Do 2 more rounds of breath. Inhaling, stabilizing the breath. Inhale to exhale. Exhaling and releasing. Bring your hands and your palms in toward the ribs. Let your thumb and your index finger be on the lowest part of the ribs, and then the last 3 fingers be on the space of the belly. On your next breath, feel that belly rise with the breath. Feel the ribs expand on the in-breath. As you exhale, release the ribs and soften the belly into the back of the spine. Good. Release your belly. Inhale, spread the ribs. Really feel that diaphragm contracting and lengthening the rib points one from another on your in-breath. And then see the rib points contract and come together on your out-breath. Good. Stay there. Feel the circumference of your breath, not only through the space of the front ribs, but watching the space of the back ribs as you breathe in. Essentially feeling your entire rib cage expand and soften. Noticing the space between the ribs getting wider. More voluminous breath. Inhale. Ujjayi breath. You can hear this breath. Exhale and release. Breath brushes the back of the throat. Inhale. Bring the breath in. Spread the ribs. Exhale, release the breath. Good. Go ahead and wiggle your feet toward each other. Stretch the legs out. Take the arms overhead. Interlace the fingers. Interpalms. Press overhead. The curve in the low back is accentuated. The pelvis is dropping forward. Low back is lifting. Good. And then exhale. Bring the hands back down by your sides. We're going to take Banasana, a yin pose. Take the right leg out to the right. The left ankle across the right ankle. Bring your left arm up and overhead and take your whole torso to the right. And then grab that left wrist with your right hand. Soften the left hip down to the mat, left shoulder down to the mat. You're in a banana shape, bowed to the right side of the body. Taking 8 breaths here. Inhale, ribs expand, side body lengthens. Exhale, release the breath. Inhale, stretch long. Exhale and release. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. 2 more breaths. Inhale. Exhale. 1 more breath. Inhale. Exhale, release. Come to center. Take the upper body to center. Uncross. Bring both legs center. Take a full body stretch again, tipping the pelvis up and forward. Release, drawing the pelvis back down to the earth. Take the left leg off to the left. Right ankle across left. Lift up the whole body and tip it over toward the left, and then soften back down to the mat. The right hip point, the right shoulder. You can hold that right wrist or just let the hands lie flat on the floor. 8 breaths. Inhale, please. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale, deep breath in, spread ribs, intercostals. Exhale, release. 3 more breaths. Inhale, please. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. 1 more breath. Inhale. Exhale, release. Come to center. 1 more full body stretch. Reach the fingertips long. Reach the toes, pointing the toes. Let that low back lift off the mat. And then exhale, bring the hands down by your sides. Bring the right knee and the left knee into the chest. Hug the knees into the chest. Take the hands right to the tops of the knees and circle those knees. Just massaging those muscles right at the tailbone. Taking yourself 3 times in one direction and 3 times in the other direction. Knees to chest circle, knees to chest circle. Good. Go ahead and curl yourself up. Draw the knees into the chest. We're right in that space of the QLs. Tip yourself to the left, feeling those muscles along the spine, and then draw the knees over to the right. Pressing into that muscle. You might feel a little sensation there. Come back to the left, draw knees to chest, press into the left side. Come over to the right, knees to chest, rounding into the low back. Good, come into center, drop the head down, take the gaze over to the right, stretching out the left side of the neck. Bring your gaze back up to the ceiling, drop your chin to your left shoulder, stretching the right side of the neck. Come all the way back into center. Good. Take a rock and roll on your spine, or if that bothers your back, allow yourself to just roll off to the side to make your way up and over. So come all the way through, flipping over the feet, bringing the hands to the mat, bringing your knees right underneath your hips. Take the gaze forward, nice neutral spine, and then round into your spine, bring your chin into your chest. Sink your hips back toward your heels, sinking into child's pose. Good. Press yourself up. Tuck your toes. Drop your belly. Bring your gaze up on an inhale. Exhale. Round through the spine and sink the hips back toward the heels. Good. Inhale. Rise up all 4s. Tuck toes. Look up. Drop belly. Exhale. Round through the spine and sink your hips back toward your heels. Walk your hands over to the right. Take the left arm and stretch it as far out as you can. Bring your right hand closer to your right hip or your right shin. Stretch the ear along the left bicep. Sink into the left hip. Take some breaths here, breathing in, breathing out, stretching that QL muscle. Release. Come back to center. take the hands to the left. Bend the left elbow, bringing the elbow hand toward the left thigh. Take your right arm and reach it out. Sink that right ear toward that right bicep. Press that right hip back toward that right heel. Expand that breath up into the upper back here as you take those deep breaths in and you puff up the back body. We have some vital organs that sit in the back side of the body in that area, and you want that breath to hit into that area. Good. Come back into the center and then go ahead and press the palms into the mat. Lift yourself up to an all fours pose. Take the gaze to your left hip and shift your left hip off to the left. Come back into center. Take your gaze to the right hip and shift the hips off to the right. Good. Come back into the center. Pull the belly into the spine. Tuck your toes. And as if I have a rope, I'm lifting the navel up toward the ceiling and sink those heels to the back of your mat. Good. Downward facing dog here. Just pedal into your dog. Bending into one knee, straightening the opposite leg, and then take that into the opposite knee. Good. Come high on both heels, lifting the heels up toward the sky, and then sink those heels down to the right corner of your mat. Stretch your chest back toward your thighs. Take a deep breath in and out. Look underneath your left arm and just kind of lift up that left hip a little bit. Good. Come back to center. Lift heels. Drop heels to the left corner of your mat. Press the chest back toward the thighs. Look underneath the right arm and lift that right hip up. Come back into center. Lift the heels and sink the heels. Roll forward into a plank pose, coming so that the shoulders are right over the wrists. Good. Long through the back of the neck, crown of the head pressing forward. Lift the hips up. Sink the heels back. Exhale. Good. Come forward. Inhale. Draw that chest forward. Ribs toward the armpits. Lift hips. Sink heels. Down dog. One more time. Come forward. Nice and long. Exhale. Lift hips. Come back. Downward facing dog. Take the gaze to your hands. Bend into your knees. Walk yourself to the top of your mat. Bring the toes together. Take an inhale. Lengthen the torso. Feel these back supporting muscles working. Exhale and fold. Inhale, long spine. Look at the horizon. Hands can be to the fingertips or to the shins. Exhale, fold. Do that one more time. Lengthen the spine. Inhale, look forward. Exhale, release. Press into your feet. Bring your hands to your hips with a straight spine. Press yourself all the way up to standing. Bring the hands into the heart center. Draw the shoulders up, back, and down. Thumbs right to heart. Take a deep breath in through the nose. Exhale, sigh that breath out. Draw the fingers up toward the sky. Drop the right hand and take a lateral bend to the right, reaching through your left fingertips. Good. Stretch the arms back up toward the sky. Take the left arm down and stretch over into the left side with the right fingertips. Good. Come all the way back through, reaching the arms up to the sky. Lead with your chest. Take a forward fold. Inhale, lengthen your spine. Look out. Exhale, plant your hands. Step back to your plank pose. Strong plank looking forward. Weight distributed through the whole body. Breath in and breath out. We're going to lower to the floor. So if you're lowering a full plank lower, you're coming forward and keeping the elbows in. Or you're dropping the knees, keeping the elbows in, keeping the belly in, and lowering to the ground. Draw your shoulder heads back. Press the tops of the feet into the mat. Inhale, heart lifts. Exhale, we release. 2 more times. Inhale, draw shoulders back, lift heart. Exhale, release. 1 more time. Inhale, lift the heart. Exhale, release. Tuck your toes underneath. Pull your low belly in. Press yourself either through all fours, half plank, or a full plank. Lift the hips. Sink the heels. Downward facing dog. Breath in. Breath out. Breath in. Breath out. Good. Lift the right leg up to the sky and turn that right hip so that it's facing the ceiling and your toe is facing right. Good. Now bring that toe and point it straight down, rotating through the hip. And then take the inner seam of the leg and reach it toward the sky, taking your toe to the left. Good. Come back into the center. Bend into the knee. Bring the knee to the chest and squeeze. Inhale, send it to the sky. Stretch through the toes. Exhale, squeeze. Round into the upper back. Plant that foot right in between your hands. Help it forward so the knee is right over the ankle. Very nice. Take a couple breaths here. You can bring your blocks in. Great place for the blocks to be right here. Inhaling and exhaling. Drop that left knee down to the earth. Bring your right hand to your right knee and lift your left arm up. Drawing the upper body out of the lower body, lifting up through those left fingertips and driving that energy down through the left knee. Good. Come back into neutral. Tuck your ribs in. Take yourself over to the right. Breathe in, breathe out. Fingertips back up to the sky. Come forward, sinking into the left hip. Bring the elbow in. Bring your hands to your heart. 5 breaths here. One more breath. Good. Take a release. Come back to center. Take the hands either to the blocks or to the earth. Tuck your left toes. Pick up your left knee. Walk to your left. Pick your toes up. Come all the way to that left hip. Sink. Bring the knee and the toes in the same direction. Reach the arms out. Take that right arm and reach, reach, reach. And stretch into that. Walk your hands back in. Come back to center. Rotate your feet. Come back to the top of your mat. Good. Take an inhale. Step that left foot forward to meet your right foot. Halfway lift. Look at the horizon. Exhale. Fold. Bending into the knees. Pressing into the feet. Come all the way up and reach. Exhale the hands into the center of the chest. Inhale. Press the arms up. Drop the left arm. Reach overhead with your right. Inhale, come back to extended mountain pose, reaching both arms up. Drop your right arm, look up and over to the left. Good. Come back into center, reach both arms to the sky. Exhale, take a forward fold. Inhale, lengthen the spine. Exhale, plant your hands, step back to plank. You can lower the knees and come down for one cobra, or come forward holding the low belly in. Bending into the elbows for chaturanga. Over the toes, up dog. Broaden the chest. Pull the belly in. Exhale back. Downward facing dog. Breath in. Breath out. Breath in. Breath out. Lift the left leg to the sky. Good. We're going to take that outer left hip and turn it toward the sky, taking the toes to the left. Stretch back through that heel. Good. Shift toe down. Take the toe to the right. Turn the outer hip down toward the mat. Keep working the toe up toward the ceiling. Good. Come back into that neutral pose. Knee to the chest. Squeeze. Inhale to the sky. Knee to the chest, squeeze. Plant that foot right in between the hands, nice and light, rounding into your upper back. Come onto the fingertips or bring the blocks in. Take breaths in runner's lunge. And right here, create some length out the back of the neck, through the crown of the head, softening the shoulders. Drop the right knee down to the earth. Reach your left hand to that left knee and reach up and out of the body with the right arm. Draw down through that right knee. Lift up through the torso. Good. Come back to neutral and take a little bend over to the left, reaching up and out. Keep the left big toe pressing into the mat. And then bring that hand back up. Come forward. Bring it down and take yourself to a twist. Palms together, thumbs to the heart. One more breath. Inhale. Exhale, release, hands down to the ground. Tuck your right toes, pick up your right knee, and we're walking all the way through wide side, turning toes to the outer corner of the mat, walking that left hand as far out as you can, sinking down into the hip. Soften up into the attachment right at the top of the hip flexor in that right thigh. Very nice. Bring your hands back in, walk back, turn the toes, come back to the top of your mat. Very nice. You're looking forward, you're stepping forward, right foot meets left. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Press into the feet, reach the arms up. Exhale the hands back into the space of the heart. Good. Sit into a chair, sitting the hips back, reaching the arms up. Good. Stay here. Hips back. You can see your big toes. Breathing in and breathing out. Bring the hands into the space of your heart. Take a twist to the right, bringing the left elbow across. Heart is higher than hips. Drawing that chest toward the thumbs. We're going to step and press into that right foot and pick up that left foot and take it all the way to the back of your mat. So lifting that left leg back. Good. And then here, see if you can open up that left hand, bringing the fingertips down, reaching your right arm up toward the sky. If you need to lower that back knee, lower that back knee. Very nice. Bring the hands back together, come back to center, and reach the arms up. Good. Hip points drawing up to low ribs. You're engaged through that back leg. Lifting the arms up toward the sky. Taking the right arm, dropping it into between the shoulder blades, bringing the left hand to that right elbow. Lift up there. Draw the chest back just a little bit. Keep lifting upper body out of lower body. Good. Release. Reach the arms up toward the sky. Next, let yourself open up Warrior Two. Drop the left heel. Open the arms out. Same connection. Hip points to low ribs. Belly in. Take a flip of that right palm. Take a reverse warrior reach back. Come back to Warrior Two on your exhale. Inhale, flip palm, reach back. Exhale, come back to Warrior Two. Good. One more time. Flip palm, reach back. Come back, Warrior Two. Good. We're going to take our hands down to the ground or to the blocks. Pivot on that left foot so that the heel is lifted. And then you're going to take that right foot, pick it up, bring it halfway back, and roll onto the outside edge of your left foot. So this right knee is in line with this right hip, and the ankle comes right underneath the knee. Reach the right arm up to the sky. Take it overhead and lift your hips. Sink the hips, draw the hand back. Inhale, press up and reach over. Exhale, drop hips down. Inhale, press up, reach over. Exhale, sink. Good. Inhale, reach up. Take that right hand down to the earth. Step your right foot to meet your left foot. Very nice. You can lower the knees or come forward. Chaturanga. Up dog. Down dog. 5 breaths. In through the nose. Out through the nose. Child's pose is always there for you. If you need a child's pose, take it. Honoring your body, honoring your practice. Good. Look up to your hands. Hop or step your way to the top of the mat. Inhale. Halfway lift, extend. Exhale, fold into yourself. Press into your feet. Reach your arms up. Take a big reach. Exhale. Hands, heart center. Soften shoulders. Good. Sink into the hips. Come back to that chair pose, reaching those arms up. Pinkies draw toward each other. Look at your toes, then bring your gaze back to the fingers and breathe. Lengthen through the side waist. Feel the core connected here. Inhaling and exhaling. Good. Hands come into the heart center. Take a twist to the left. Create length in your spine. Bring the right elbow across. Settle into that. Soften your shoulders. Breathe. Just look down. If that right knee popped forward, draw it back. Good. Bring the concentration and the awareness to the floor. Find your left foot. Pick your right leg up and drop it back. Ball of the foot is lifted. You're in this crescent twist. You're going to work the right hand down. Left fingertips up. Breath in, breath out. Hands come back together. Squeeze, come into center as if there's a pull in the center of your body. You're hugging into that pull. And then you're reaching those arms up, taking that upper body up and out of the lower body. Nice big stretch for the psoas and for that right thigh. Left hand down in between the shoulder blades, right hand to the left elbow. Lift up and then just tip back without dumping into the low back. Lots of lift. Breath in, breath out. Reach the fingertips up. Open up warrior two. Drop the heel. Take that bend. Knee, toe, second and third toe, reaching to the top of the mat. Flip the palm, reverse your warrior, reach back. Come back to warrior two. Inhale, tip back. Exhale, warrior two. Inhale, tip back. Exhale, warrior two. Bring the hands down to the earth. Pivot on the back foot. Plant your hands. Lift up your left foot and bring it halfway back. Drop onto the outside edge of your right foot. Lift your left arm up to the sky. Good. Reach the arm overhead. Lift the hips. Sink the hips and reach the arm back. Exhale. Inhale, lift and extend up and over. Exhale and sink. Inhale, up and over. Exhale, sink right hip. Good, one more time. Inhale, lift up and over. Exhale, sink. Lift the arm up. Come back to the earth. Step your left foot back. You can hit down dog, child's pose, or take chaturanga, lowering to the earth for cobra, or taking up dog, and back to down dog. Breathing in and breathing out here. Two more breaths in and out. Take your feet wide on your mat. Walk the hands back, a whole handprint. Bend into the right knee. Bring your left hand somewhere along that right ankle or right shin. Then straighten your right leg and bend your left. Look underneath your right arm. Sink your right heel. Release the left hand. Bring it back up to the mat. Bend into the left knee. Send your right hand back. Go ahead and straighten the left leg, dropping the heel, and bend into your right knee. Turn, looking underneath your left arm. Press the left hand into the mat. Feel a stretch through the whole left side of the hip. Inhale.
Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Release. Come back to your downward facing dog, bringing the feet back in, extending the arms back out. Take your right leg, reach it to the sky, bend at the knee, open up into the hip. Re-extend that leg and square, bring the knee into your chest. Drop that foot right in between your hands. Keep your left hand down, extend your right fingertips up toward the sky. Take the right hand and draw it back to the wall behind you. And then reach that arm up and overhead, palm down. Right hip draws back a little bit and sinks. Long side body. Bring that right hand back up to the sky. Bring it down to the earth. Drop your back heel. You're going to bring this block right into the front of that right into the inside of that right foot. You're going to find yourself engaged here, pressing into the palm, bending into that right knee, lifting the left arm up toward the sky. Good. Opportunity here again to extend and lengthen out over the body. Good. Go ahead and bring that left hand back up to the sky, and then really draw your energy up through those left fingertips and float yourself back into a warrior two. Move the block out of the way if it's there. And then we're going to straighten that right leg, turn those toes, and then bring your heels in and your toes out. You're in a goddess pose, bringing the arms up and taking them right to those knees. Good. Send your shoulders forward. Using the leverage into those knees, take that left shoulder and dip it down, looking to the right. Come back to center. Drop your right shoulder and look to your left. Good. Come back into center. Go ahead and press. Take those toes so that they're more parallel, maybe a little pigeon-toed, pressing out through the heels. Bring your hands to your hips. Take an inhale. Draw the hip points forward, sitting bones back. Bring your hands right underneath your face. Take the right arm, press it all the way into the floor, and lift your left arm up to the sky. Left hand can be on the tail or extend. The left hand comes down to the earth. Press it all the way into the floor and lift up through the right fingertips. Check your tailbone. Make sure it's nice and flat. And then extend up through that right arm. Good. Bring the right hand down to the earth. Walk yourself back to the top of your mat. Bring that back foot in and up. Straighten your legs. Send your chest out nice and long. And then sink that chest toward the shin. Bring your chin into your chest, crown of the head toward the big toe. Good. Bend back into that right knee. Just send the left leg up to the sky. Take a stretch through the left toes, and then you're going to drop that left shin down to the ground, bending into the left knee, and come into a seated fish twist. So if this feels like a little bit too much, extend that left leg straight out ahead of you. Otherwise, draw down through the right foot, bring your right hand to your right hip, and extend and lengthen up through the left arm. Spiral your rib cage around the spine. Bring the elbow down, soften the shoulders, gazing straight at the horizon. Take your twist. Breath in, breath out. Inhale, lengthens the torso. Exhale, softens. Good. Come all the way back into center. You're going to bring yourself forward and take the right knee on top of the left and sit all the way back again. So this is cow face pose. Feet are out to the sides. And again, you can just take half of this. So it would be different in that the top of the foot would be tucked down. Take your left hand down, reach your right arm up and overhead, taking a nice lateral stretch through the side body. One more breath in. Press the right hip down, lift up and out of the lower body. Reach the fingertips up, create a nice long spine. Bring the right hand down and draw your hands forward, sinking into cow face pose. Without the arms, just letting your chin come into your chest. Sinking into yourself. Good. Go ahead and release out of that. We're going to cross at the ankles, so right over the left. We're going to flip over our feet, plant the hands, step back into downward facing dog, hips high to the sky. Inhale, lift your left leg up. Bend at the knee and open up into the space of your hip. Re-extend and square. Bring the knee into your chest. Drop that foot right in between those hands. Good. Keep the right fingertips down. Lift your left fingertips up. Hand can be on the block. Stretch that left hand back. And then long arm overhead. Palm down to the ground. Spinning and looking underneath that left bicep. Opening up the space between the ribs. Bring the hand back up. Lower it down to the earth. Drop your back heel. You're going to bring your block back in. Take the hand on the block. Press into that. You're in a low side angle pose. Reaching the right arm up. Stretch it back. Reach it overhead. Long through the side. Easy breath, spreading ribs, stretching the back, supporting muscles. Come back up to the sky. Really engage through your feet. Engage through your core. Float yourself up to a warrior two. Sinking into that warrior two. Strong in the pose. Good. Straighten the left leg. Turn the toes. Bring your heels in and your toes out. Sinking into goddess. This time we're going to take that temple mudra and send it straight up overhead. Good. Lift up and out and over to the right. Come back in. Inhale. Lift up and over to the left. Good. Come back into center. Inhale. Over to the right. Extend. Over to the right. Come back to center. Extend over to the left. Good. Come back into center. Release. Straighten the legs. Turn your toes back to parallel. Heels out. Take a clasp. Heart chest lifts. Exhale. Forward fold. Working through the energy on the outer line of your legs, and then lift up with the ankles toward the pelvis. Let the head drop. Chin to chest. Little compression here right underneath the chin, like you've got a tennis ball there. Breathing in, breathing out. Release the hands to your hips. Bring them underneath your face. Walk back to the top of your mat. Step your right foot in and up. Foot is at 45 degrees. Both heels sealed to the mat. Extend and lengthen the torso. Another great place for the blocks. If your hamstrings are tight, bring the earth up a little bit. Find your surrender over the left leg. Bring your chin into your chest and take the crown of your head toward the toe. Feel a good stretch through the quadratus lumborum on the back of the body. Good. Bend back into your left knee. You can bring that right leg up to the sky, taking a little standing split there. And then we're dropping that right shin down to the mat. Bringing ourselves all the way into a seated pose. So at this point, right leg can extend forward, or you can come into Ardha Matsyendrasana, fish twist. Work to make sure that you're grounded into the two sitting bones. Left hand down, right arm reaches. Extend up and out through that right hand. And then bring the elbow to the knee as you spiral your rib cage around the axis of the spine, gazing at the horizon, taking some breaths. Inhale, we lengthen. Exhale, we release. No wrenching. Let the body decide how deep to go. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, exhale. Come back into center. Bring that right hand down. You're going to come forward a little bit and tighten that up. Or if you have the right leg extended, you're going to tuck the top of the left foot underneath, drawing the knees parallel to each other. You're going to take the right hand down, lift your left palm up, coming up and over the body here, coming into this lateral side bend. Gazing where it's comfortable. If you can look to the sky, look to the sky. But if it bothers your neck, then look down or look straight out. Send the energy back up through the fingertips and bring that left hand down, walking the chest forward, taking yourself into that nice surrender, coming forward. Good. Stay for one more breath, softening into the space of your hips. Good. Press yourself all the way up. Finishing vinyasa here. Cross the left ankle over the right. Flip over the feet. Plant the hands. Step back to down dog. Come forward. Inhale. Your vinyasa, either lowering to the earth for a cobra or chaturanga. Up dog. Exhale, coming back to downward facing dog. Big breath in, nice big sigh out, feeling spacious through the upper torso, feeling a sense of vitality and refreshment. Good. Go ahead and drop your knees down to the ground and take a little child's pose, sitting your hips back toward your heels. And then we'll start to come into a few yin poses, just working into the lateral side body. One more breath. Inhale. Exhale, release. Come all the way up to all fours. So we're going to take a puppy bow or melting heart pose. We're going to use the blocks. These are pretty tall blocks, so if you have a book that's this big, you might want something that's just a little bit smaller. So when you come into yin, you want to marinate the body. You want to come at the highest edge, not drop too deeply into the pose, but let the body decide how deep it wants to get. You may need cushion underneath your knees here, but what you're going to do is keep your hips nice and high. You're going to bring your elbows to the blocks, bring your palms together and take the thumbs to the nape of the neck, and then just draw the upper arms back toward the knees and begin to sink into the upper body. We're going to time this here, so let yourself find the highest edge here as you sort of give yourself permission to melt into the chest and the shoulders. If you can drop your head down to the ground, drop the forehead down to the ground and find a further release here. Soft ujjayi is fine in yin. Stay anchored to the present moment. So through the sensation of your body, through watching the breath, or just noticing what's happening here. Try not to fidget, but just be still. Good. You've got about 15 more seconds in this pose. It's a great pose for helping to reverse forward motion in the body. Hunched shoulders, sitting at a desk, sitting in a car, airplane. It's a great stretch if you've been on a bicycle. Release the hands. Take them to the ground. Lift yourself up. Bring your palms in. Take a nice cat arch here. Bring the chin into the chest to counter that. Good. Drop over to the right hip and just sink into that right heel. Come back up. Arch the back. Sink toward the left hip. Come back to center and arch up through the spine. Good. Take a release. So I'm going to have you move your blocks or your books out of the way, and I'm going to have you bring in the bolster. So we're going to come into deer pose today. Great alternative to pigeon. There's lots of variations of deer pose, but in this particular one, we're going after this QL. So I want you to sit so that the right hip is at the bottom right corner of your bolster or your pillow. I want you to think about this left knee as coming straight from this left hip point, straight back. Then this right foot is going to come right to the top of that right knee. So if it feels like it's too much, you can take this whole structure a little bit more to the right. But if you're okay here, turn your whole belly toward the bolster and draw yourself down into this pose. We're working a stretch here that's on this QL on this lower left side and on the outer hip flexor. So with yin, you'll be here for a couple of minutes, so let yourself either turn the gaze toward the bent knees, or if it doesn't bother your neck and you want to take a full rotation of the neck, you can look to the right. Good. Just settle in here and soften, letting the whole body relax. Soft breath. Keep your belly soft. See if you can relax your upper body now and sink a little more deeply into the bolster. And taking the elbows out a little bit more, dropping the chest a little bit more. You got about 30 seconds here. Just drop a little bit deeper. Feel the body rest a little bit more into the pillow or to the bolster. Nice. Take your time. Press the hands into the earth. Peel yourself up. And then go ahead and come all the way onto your seat, taking yourself so that the back tailbone is right by the bolster. Just shift those legs side to side, windshield wiper. If it feels good, stretch out the knees, bring the blood flow back into the knees, flaxing through the feet, rolling through the ankles. Good. We're going to set ourselves up for the other side. So left hip toward the lower left corner of the bolster. Right knee comes straight out from the right hip, taking the leg at 90 degrees. Bring the sole of the left foot to the top of the right knee, and then turn your entire torso toward that bolster. One side might be tighter. I know for me this is my tighter side. So I might bring that bolster to a little bit more of an angle and work myself back to center. So go ahead and work down into the first layer, first phase. Find the upper edge and let yourself relax here. Soften into the low back, sides of the hips. Good. Bring your focus and awareness to the area of the hips again. Shoulders. See if you can take your arms a little wider. Sink a little bit deeper into that. You've got about 30 seconds here. Drop a little deeper. Relax a little more fully. Be aware of where you hold tension, where you grip. Work to dissolve that. Stay here in the present moment with your breath and the awareness of the body and the idea of relaxing and sensation. Very nice. Go ahead and bring yourself all the way back up. Pressing all the way up. Good. We're going to come back to our bottom again and let yourself take those windshield wiper twists again, just as that in-between phase. Good. And then you're going to go ahead and bring yourself into a seated posture with the legs out nice and wide. You're in a wide leg straddle. Give yourself a moment here. Roll through the ankles, point and flex through your toes, energizing those legs. Good. And then we're going to take this into a lateral side bend. So you're going to take this left arm along this left leg, open up your right shoulder, take the right arm up, and bring it up and overhead. So you'll be here. This is going to be a series of 3 minutes, and then we'll finish out with Savasana pose. So letting that arm come up and over. If it bothers you to hang that arm overhead, then let the fingertips come to the back of the neck and rest there. Big stretch here for the intercostals, for the side body lateral opening here. Got about 20 more seconds. Good. Release the arm back up to the sky. Lower it down. Press yourself all the way up into center. Good. Find neutral. Extend out the crown of the head. Good. Begin to make your way to the right side. Bring the right hand to the inside of that right leg. Lift the left arm up and over toward that right big toe. Extending up and out of the lower body. Again, we look to these poses for vitality, for energy, to just relieve that stuck feeling in the space of the respiration and in the space of the low back. Stay with yourself, finding opening as much as possible. You have 20 more seconds here. Good. Fingertips lift up toward the sky. Extend up and out of the body. Come back into neutral. Tailbone, spine, crown of the head. Good. Go ahead and bring your hands underneath your knees and bring those feet toward each other. Good. One more pose, bringing the feet in toward the pelvis, dropping the knees out. 5 breaths here, just drawing the chin into your chest, folding into yourself. Good, and lift yourself back up. Good, you're going to come into a Shavasana pose. So if you're close to a wall like I am, you can send your legs up the wall and have that be your finishing posture. To get to the wall, to get your legs up the wall, you just sit really close to your corner of the wall, come back, and then throw those legs up the wall. If that's not accessible to you, then let yourself come into Shavasana pose here. allowing the whole body to rest on the floor, taking the feet wider than the knees, letting those toes fall out to the outer corners of the mat. Lift up the shoulder blades and tuck those shoulder blades underneath. Palms up to the sky, and then soften the whole torso. Take a breath in through the nose and sigh all of the breath out of the mouth. And then just systematically relax each body part. Feeling and healing breath come in through the crown of your head, washing over the forehead, the temples, the jaw, sitting the tongue down into the lower palate of your mouth. Wave of relaxation through the neck and the throat. Down into the shoulders, feel the shoulders melt and give way, supported by the earth. Relax the upper arms, the elbows, the forearms. Feel each finger relax. Feel the back of the hand on the earth, heavy into the earth. And then draw your awareness to the space of the ribs, all the spaces in between the ribs, the intercostals. Watch for a moment with awareness your ribs expand and soften. Be thankful here for your breath. Draw the awareness down into your belly and your low back. Relax into the musculature of your belly and your low back. And let that wave of relaxation float into the pelvis, sides of the hips, the gluteals. Let it wash down through the thighs, backs of the legs. Feel the back of your calves relax, all the way out through the soles of your feet. Whole body relaxed. Good. Watch your breath. You can stay here. If your legs are up the wall, you can stay there. If you're needing to close out your practice, take a big stretch, fingertips to toes. Bring the hands down into the center of your chest and take a moment to pause in gratitude as you draw those feet in, bending into the knees. And then shift the knees over to the right. Cradle the head and the arms on the right side. And then here, just set an intention for your day. One that you know honors you and what you need, and honors the people that you come in contact with. Press left hand into the floor. Bring yourself to your seat. Find that easy seat. Coming back to where we started. Bringing the hands into the center of the chest. So much gratitude to each of you for coming to your mat, for your dedication, your practice. We honor the teachings of yoga, the teachers of yoga, and the greatest teacher that's within you. Namaste.